Hi guys, Darth Deuces here with another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at my first Hot Toys figure review. This is not my first Hot Toys series that I've gotten. I don't know if I'll do a video on that figure or not. It's the War Machine Punisher figure. Yeah, I don't know if I'll do a video on that figure or not, but I recently got into Hot Toys 6 scale figures. I've finally gotten to a point where I can kind of afford to get a few here and there. So I've been picking them up because I'm going to be honest, Hot Toys, if you want to get one, you got to get more. It's an addicting line, so I have to keep that in check. But right here I have the Hot Toys The Last Jedi Crait Luke Skywalker. I really wanted to get a Hot Toys 6 scale Luke Skywalker in my collection because Luke Skywalker is one of my favorite characters. And I was looking at the Return of the Jedi Deluxe version, but that figure is not the cheapest to get now, and I didn't want to drop so much money on a figure where I was going to barely use any of the Deluxe accessories, because I'm pretty much just going to display him in his Jedi black getup, and that's about it. So I didn't go for this one. So I would say probably my second favorite look for Luke, and it is his Crait Jedi look in The Last Jedi. And potentially unpopular opinion, don't want to get crucified for this, but I do not hate The Last Jedi. I actually do like The Last Jedi. Definitely not my favorite movie. There's definitely issues with the film, don't get me wrong, but I do like it, and I like Luke in it. It just is what it is, and I really like this look for Luke, and this figure is really good. So let's take a look at the head sculpt, because I would say, like most Hot Toys that have human head, the portrait of the head is definitely one of the big sellers. And I think this Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker head portrait looks fantastic. I'm a pretty big fan of what's going on here. I think it looks really good, man. And it looks like almost looks like it's actually Mark Hamill, just in 12 inches. I mean, he's really good looking. I love the eyes. The way the eyes look, I think, looks great. The hair came out really well. And the facial hair, the beard he's got going on, it looks really good. The side profile looks great. The front profile looks pretty good. I'm a pretty big fan of it. I just think it looks good. It's the older Luke who has mastered the ways of the Force, and I think this looks really good and really personifies that. I'm taking a look at the rest of the figure. He, of course, has his outfit from those scenes on Crait, and he's got that dark blue Jedi robe kind of going on. He's got the little white tunic underneath, and you've got the very dark blue, I guess that would be the color, the robe he's got going on. The over robe he's got is really nicely tailored, and drapes really nicely over his shoulders, on his arms, and down the profile of the figure. I think it looks really good. He does have an actual wired hood, so you can actually bring the hood up, and I'm not going to do a very good job making this look good right now, but you can actually put his hood up, and there's a wire in the brim of it, so you can shape it to a certain extent how you want it to look, and I think that looks pretty good. You gotta have to fool around with it to get the way that you want it to look, but I think that's pretty cool. And then because of the wire, you can get it pushed down pretty easily. Again, I have to fool with it a bit, but it goes down pretty easily. It looks pretty good. Underneath the robe here, you do have the standard tunic. You might be able to remove the robe. I was gonna say, I don't know if you can remove the robe. You might be able to remove the robe. I wouldn't do it. I haven't done it yet, and I wouldn't do it, but you might be able to remove the robe. I mean, you can remove, technically speaking, remove all the clothes on the body, but that would require breaking parts off, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. The belt here looks nice. It's pretty simple, though. It was brown, the silver buckle, the little silver hook for his lightsaber. I do think this is just a plastic piece. It's not like, it's kind of plain looking and kind of stands out with the rest of the costume, but I think it still looks, looks fine. And he's got the pants here. The pants are good, just pants. They fit on the body well. And then he's got his boots and wrapping. This is just like a rubbery plastic. But the paint is nice. He's got some nice brown wash to make it look dirtied up a bit, which I think is pretty cool. Get him fixed up here. His left hand has the normal flesh, and then his right hand is the brown gloved hand for his artificial hand. So that's cool, and you got nice black wash on that to bring out the wrinkles and the details on that. And there's the back look. You know, there's not too much to go over with this figure. It's a simple design. It's a simple but effective design. So there's not a ton to actually talk about. But the soft goods and everything going on here, you know, pretty well done. Pretty well done. Sturdy, looks good. I dig it. For articulation, you can definitely pose this figure around. I don't know if you're going to be able to do crazy stuff with it, but he definitely has some posability. So you have a neck joint there, you can rotate, pivot pretty good. You can pop them off if you're not careful, but it does pose around pretty good. You have shoulder joints. Move actually past 90, so that's pretty good, and they rotate up around. And this doesn't really get in the way too much, which is great. There's rotation there at the bicep. Double hinge in the elbow, which moves pretty good. And you've got the wrist joint, which can go up and down or in and out, depending on how you rotate that joint. Rotation, all that good stuff. It does have a torso joint, so you can crunch them just a bit. Get them back just a bit, nothing too crazy, but you can do some things there. You can kick out a decent amount. You know, I wouldn't force it. I'm not trying to force it, but comfortably go about that far. And you can kick out pretty far without feeling like you're forcing it. There's rotation there at the thigh. There is a ratchety style knee joint, which moves it back pretty good. And then you have, I believe it's a dumbbell joint in the actual ankles, so it goes up and down and pivots. One issue I do have with the figure, it's just a minor issue, but it's still an issue. I don't know if it's just with mine or not, but the feet like to pop off of this figure a lot. It doesn't take much force for them to actually pop off, so that is a little annoying. When you're posing or whatever, they'll just kind of fall off, or just when you take them off from displaying them, they'll fall off. It's a little annoying. One feature I didn't mention yet is he actually does have wires at the bottom of the robe, so while the whole robe isn't wired, you can bend the wires at the bottom a bit to kind of get the robe to flow out just a little bit if you want to get sort of a breeze effect on the robe. So I think that's pretty cool as well. So now we've talked about pretty much everything about old Luke here. Let's talk about his accessories and what he comes with. So here's all the stuff that Luke comes with, and admittedly it's not much, but he doesn't really need to come with much because he didn't use a whole lot of stuff during the scene he was in looking like this and in the movie. So when the character doesn't use a lot of things, they don't get as many accessories. You do get some hand options though. You get his lightsaber and you get the stand. Let's take a look at the stand first. Stand's pretty cool actually. You do have this silver name plaque, Luke Skywalker, on there. And you have the ground of Crait here, which is really cool. You get the salt and the red, I don't know, dirt, I guess. The landscape is really cool, and you have some footprints sculpted in there, which is really cool. I don't know if this is the same as the Kylo Ren stand or not. It might be a bit different, I'm not sure. You got this red all throughout. That's the bottom. It's just a rectangle, but it does its job. And you've got the post here to cradle the crotch of the figure to, you know, keep it standing upright and give it you a bit of extra security so it won't fall over. But it also makes for a nice display piece, so that's really cool. I really like that. Hand options on the figure, as you saw, he has some relaxed hands. For the gloved hand, you get a lightsaber holding hand, which is angled for the hand to be angled forward a bit, which I like, but they didn't include a hand that's just a normal gripping hand, and because the glove isn't in two parts, you can't really go up and down with this. You can only rotate it. So the only way to get him to hold the lightsaber kind of in a normal upright position is using the interchangeable arm, which we'll talk about. You get that, and then you also get a force pushing splayed out hand for the gloved side as well. So that is cool. That's nice and dynamic. Get a few hands for the left side here. You get a lightsaber gripping hand, and you get a sort of gesturing, force gesture sort of posed hand, and all the hands are nicely sculpted and painted. You have another force gesture sort of hand, I guess, with the 3 fingers splayed out. And then you get this hand where he kind of looks like he's pointing, but he kind of isn't. I'm not entirely sure what this hand's supposed to be for, but you get that hand as well. And then you get the interchangeable right forearm. This is the LED lightsaber arm. So what you do is you have to roll up the sleeve, detach this forearm, put this one in, and then there's a switch underneath this piece of glove here, and you flip the switch and you get an LED effect going on. I like that these are included. It gives you the option, but I'm generally speaking not a huge fan of these. It's a hassle to interchange the arms. The LEDs in the sabers aren't that good. They don't travel through the blades too well. They're not super, super bright, so I don't think they're that good. And at the end of the day, they're really gimmicky. Like, you're not gonna probably leave this figure in your room on display with the lightsaber on 24/7. It'll fry the battery and probably fry the light after a while. It's just not a way most people are gonna display the figure. So these are overly gimmicky. I don't really care for them too much. The only reason I might use this arm, if I can get it on, is to have the hand holding the saber upright. Because I didn't give you an interchangeable hand to do it. I've had issues swapping. I'm not going to swap them because it's a pain in the ass. I'm not doing it on camera. Mine's a bit difficult because it's separating at the wrong spot on this arm. So I don't know if I'm even going to be able to interchange it. But yeah, you get that. And then you get, your standard lightsaber, and it is nicely sculpted and painted to look quite like the actual thing. You do have a little metal hook on the bottom here. If I can get it up. There we go. And you can put that on Luke's belt here. I can show you that real quick. There we go. So I'll move the camera up here. And you can hang that on his belt, and it hangs really naturally and looks really good. So that's cool. Put that back down. Take the lightsaber back. And you also get 2 blade effects. You get your standard blade effect, and it's a very pale blue. And they might have made it this way to make it better for the LED. I don't know. It would have been nicer to be a more richer blue. But it still looks fine. You import that into the lightsaber, no problem. There you got the saber. You also get a swooshing or a swinging blade effect. Most, if not all, Hot Toys figures that come with lightsabers come with this effect, and I think it's really cool. So it makes like the blades, moving in motion, which is really cool. It adds a bit of dynamic posing options for the figures, so I think that's really cool. And then lastly, comes with the little pair of Han's dice, with it just connected via an actual metal chain, which is pretty cool. It's very small, it's hard to show, but that's cool. And this hand might actually be meant for holding that. You can kind of weave the chain in there and you can kind of hold it. So that's pretty cool. So getting this back up here, move this out of the way. I'll get him holding the lightsaber real quick, and then we'll share the final thoughts. Alright, now we got Luke here. He's holding the lightsaber. I don't have any crazy pose right now. I just wanted to show you real quick him holding the saber. I think it looks really good. I'll do a quick little comparison here, just to give you an idea on the size. Luke is a little bit shorter, just because Mark Hamill himself isn't a super tall person. And here he is compared with another Star Wars Hot Toys of a character who is a lot taller. Here is Count Dooku, Darth Tyranus, and you can see Christopher Lee. If this is accurate, geez, yeah, you can't even see on the camera. If this is accurate, Christopher Lee was a tall dude. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But there is the comparison there. Either Mark Hamill's short or Count Dooku's tall, or Christopher Lee's tall. I'm pretty sure Christopher Lee is a pretty tall person, but that's pretty cool. I might review this Count Dooku at some point. I don't know when, but probably will review him at some point. He's a really cool figure, though. I'll put him off the side. Overall, I think this Luke Skywalker is really cool. Obviously, it's not going to be a buy for everyone. If you don't care much for The Last Jedi, don't care for this version of Luke that much, then it's going to be an easy pass. But if you are a fan of this look for Luke, if you like The Last Jedi, I think this is a great figure to get to commemorate that movie. And for a more aged version of Luke, I think this is a really good one to get. and he's not fetching crazy prices on the aftermarket yet. So I would definitely recommend them if you have any interest in them. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. We'll see you all in the next video.